going to do this one way or another, Mr. White.
It's been a long time since the hit show Breaking Bad ended, so we don't blame you if you need a few blanks filled in before you start watching El Camino. The movie picks up where the show left off and contains more than a few Easter eggs and references to the previous series. If you want a reminder before you give it a watch, let us help you out. We'll remind you why some elements of the film look oh so familiar. If you haven't had a chance to finish up Breaking Bad yet, well, what are you waiting for? Go do that right now because we're about to talk about one of the best episodes in the entire series, Ozymandias. And that's not just our opinion as fine YouTube purveyors of media. It has a 9.9 out of 10 score on IMDb. In case you're having trouble remembering which episode that is, it's the one where we lost our beloved Hank Schrader after he spent so long trying to bring down Heisenberg. Not only did we lose Hank, but we also said goodbye to his longtime partner, Steve Gomez. Even though Hank was stubborn and tough to the very end, losing him was still tragic, and it brought back all kinds of feels when we saw photos of him and Steve in El Camino. Now let's talk about an episode which happened all the way back in season 2 called Peekaboo. In the very beginning of the episode, Jesse Pinkman is standing alone and he sees a huge beetle on the sidewalk. He helps it along right before his pal Skinny Pete shows up and crushes it. The episode continues with a lot more drama and action, but this scene was a meaningful one to many viewers. Jesse showing kindness to an insignificant insect highlights that he's always been a defender of the innocent. It also ties into later in the episode when he comes face to face with a young boy living with abusive and neglectful parents. So when we saw Jesse and the bug again in El Camino, of course we couldn't help but think of this famous scene from the show. This episode also earned actor Aaron Paul a nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. During Breaking Bad, Walter White teaches Jesse many things. Many of them are absolutely terrible, but at least they're useful. Well, useful when it comes to committing crimes, skirting the law, and not getting caught. Hey, he teaches a lot more than science. That's all that we're saying. One of the first lessons Jesse learns from Walt is to be inconspicuous instead of flashing his wealth around in the form of fancy cars. A lesson that Walt later abandons when he buys Walt Jr. a flashy new Dodge Challenger, but still. In Breaking Bad, Jesse drives an old red Toyota Tercel that looks like it's definitely seen better days. This car somehow miraculously survived from the end of Breaking Bad to the movie El Camino. Well, not the exact same car that he used. That one was sold at auction for $4,500, and a portion of the proceeds went to a charity helping those suffering from addiction. Jesse Pinkman is a man with a less than impressive dating resume. Not because he has trouble getting girls, but he just seems to have trouble keeping them alive. Poor Andrea was a woman he met in an NA meeting. It turned out her younger brother, Tomas, was the kid who took out Jesse's friend Combo in an earlier episode. Sadly, neither Tomas nor Andrea ultimately survived their association with Jesse. Although Andrea's son Brock lived, he went through some serious issues when he was poisoned by Walter White, who was trying to manipulate Jesse. Although they may be gone, they're not forgotten because we saw photos of them in El Camino. Brock is mentioned, but doesn't actually return. It might have been nice to see him again, but considering the time gap between the end of Breaking Bad and the filming of El Camino, it's understandable that the child actor had grown too much during that time. In case you forgot, Jesse goes through some pretty terrible stuff over the course of Breaking Bad, as in gets kidnapped and tormented bad. He's forced to cook and is attacked when he doesn't obey. By the time he and Walt reunite, it's clear Jesse has sustained some serious injuries during his time in captivity. These are the scars we see on his body and head during El Camino, a sad reminder of the horrible things Jesse has had to withstand in order to survive. Yes, he committed no shortage of crimes during his time on the show, but he's also suffered a great deal. Poor Jesse is scarred both on the inside and out thanks to getting involved with Walter White in the first place. Although he ultimately escaped his captors at the end of Breaking Bad, will he ever be able to truly escape? Each episode of the show had a carefully chosen name with some sort of deeper meaning. For instance, the series finale is called Felina, which is a reference to the 1959 song El Paso by Marty Robbins. The song is about a woman named Felina, and it's a tune we heard both playing in Walt's stolen car and as he hums it while assembling the M60. Felina is also an anagram for the word finale, just for good measure. El Camino is of course a reference to Todd's car, which Jesse drives away during the episode Felina, but it also means the road. The idea of creating a Breaking Bad movie was one Vince Gilligan had for quite some time, but he kept quiet about it until he was ready to act. What do you think about El Camino as a continuation of Breaking Bad? Do you think it was a great addition to the story, or do you think it was totally unnecessary? Take some time to share your thoughts with us in the comment section, and then why don't you go ahead and just click on some more videos down there and subscribe to Screen Rant. Bye for now.